microphone is working. So let's turn that off. Let me transition. I think that worked. Okay, cool, great. Okay, hi. If this is working, then I think it is, then, welcome, hello. This is DGSE 395 Applied Digital Studies, day 1, and we are live streaming, or I am live streaming and you are watching. Or maybe you're watching it archived, it's hard to say. So today is the first day of class, and so there's a lot of things to go over. Mainly, I want to talk about the structure of the class and introduce you to some things and big concepts and big patterns of ways that we're going to be interacting. This is an unusual first day, but it's still a lot of the same kinds of things we would be normally be doing for this class. So I'm going to be getting into it. Oh, great! And people are saying hi on Twitch. Great, good to see you. The nice thing about the first day of class usually is, I call roll and then we say hi and catch up. Obviously, it's a little different now, but it is great to see some familiar names on the chat. So, hello, and good to see you all there, and also possibly in Discord. There's a lot of things that are kind of similar to what we did in the spring for 101, but we're going to be changing some things up, which is one of those is I like to use Discord instead of Slack now. But of course, you're welcome to use the Twitch chat if you prefer, or if that's convenient. So great to see you all saying hi. It's always nice seeing seeing you there in the Twitch chat. Of course, to be on the Twitch chat, you just have to create an account for Twitch to be able to chat. You don't have to do that, of course, but that lets you chat there, and also you can follow me on Twitch so you get notified. I'm teaching 3 classes this semester, so you'll see, if you follow me on Twitch, you'll see me go live for all 3 of those, plus whatever else I happen to do on Twitch. So that might or might not be what you're, what you want to see all the time, but that you can adjust those settings if you'd like to. Just bear in mind, if you're on Twitch, that's a public chat window. So like anybody who happens to see me or happens to be following me can watch me streaming and also can be involved in the chat. So who knows? It could be people from class, or it could be random other people, which is fine, of course. But you never know. Just bear that in mind. Your audience is a little different on the Twitch chat. So let me know if things are sounding okay and looking okay. Looks like my audio is clipping a little bit, so let me just pull that down a tiny bit, but hopefully it's clear enough. I'm trying to remember if I got this microphone before the end of the spring semester or not, but if you recall, if you were in my 101, I had very similar setup to this, but I think it's a better microphone now. So hopefully it sounds better to you. But let me know if it sounds weird or if there's lag or any other issues. I do have a few things I can adjust, so let me know in the Twitch chat. Or if you're on Discord, then that works too. Discord has a live stream chat channel, which you should be able to chat in. I'm not going to put that on screen, but that's something you can use to chat during the live stream if you have any questions there. So, okay, great. Thanks, Maggie, for confirmation on the audio. All right, so this is Applied Digital Studies. Today I want to try to answer some questions that you probably have, and there are some things that I assume you are wondering about. You may be wondering about other things. Feel free to ask those things as I'm going along, or just even later, I guess. But I want to give you kind of the big picture of the class. I guess I should introduce myself first. I think most of you know me, but if not, I will introduce myself, and then I'll give you kind of the introduction to the class, and go from there. So let's see, where should we begin? So I am Zach Whalen. I'm the professor here. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Communication and Digital Studies. We are a new department now. That happened over the summer. It had been happening. It had been in the process of happening for a couple years now, actually, but it finally became official in July. So we are now a new department, and I am going to continue teaching classes in the English department sometimes, and I'm going to be 50-50. So I'm going to be teaching 50% of my classes will be English classes, and the other will be digital studies. But even my English classes are going to be digital studies electives. So I'm going to continue mainly supporting the digital studies minor and, of course, the major in communication and digital studies. So that's kind of a behind the scenes thing that's been going on, but it is nice to be our own department in some ways. It gives us a bit more flexibility and lets us we think it helps us address the needs of the major a little bit better if we're a smaller department. So that's what we're doing, and yeah, I'm excited to get this year started off with a new major. I mean, not a new major, a new department. Just kind of starting in an unusual way, but that's okay. We can adapt, and also, I mean, we're pretty well positioned to work with online teaching, hopefully. So let's see. If you don't know me, let's see. What else would you like to know about me? I teach this class, obviously 101. My teaching interests lately have been strongly geared towards creative computing or doing creative things with code. So I teach a class on electronic literature. This semester, I'm also teaching a class on the graphic novel. That's another research area of mine, comics and graphic novels. And in the spring, I don't know, I also do game studies, video game studies, and I might be able to offer that class in the spring, maybe even the winter term. There's a January term that's going to happen this year, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that, but I might be able to teach during that. I don't know, we'll see. I might be exhausted by then, so who knows, but we'll see. So that's me. I live in Fredericksburg. I'm married. I have 4 kids. In case you're interested, I got a much better bird feeder for the backyard, and I have not had squirrel issues for a while now, which is kind of nice in the sense that, you know, the birds are getting fed, but it's also like, you know, it was kind of entertaining watching the squirrels try to deal with the bird feeder. But on this one, they've just given up. It actually works. It's like a 2-story, like 2 chambers, right? And then like a really big flat, like metal circle, and it doesn't wobble very much at all. So when they get on it, they can't get enough, like they can't come around it to get under it. Whereas the old one, it was just like a plastic bowl, so they could push it aside if they did it just right, and they could climb down, or they could even, I feel like they could even jump from the tree. But this one's positioned slightly differently, and it's got this big flat roof thing. So I have not seen any squirrels on it. I've seen a few try, but I've not. They didn't try for very long, and you know, it's been a little bit less entertaining in a way because there's nothing to watch. But that, you know, every now and then there's this tree right here. I think there's a bird making a nest in a tree right outside, right like this window that's right next to me. So maybe I'll get to enjoy seeing that. I'll let you know how that goes. Yeah, I know. Well, I can put up, Aaron, I might be able to. There is another bird feeder that has no protection at all, and the squirrels eat it immediately. So I'll put a webcam on that maybe and see if that's entertaining. I have another bird feeder that's on a pole, like a metal just rod, and I saw a squirrel run and jump as high as it could and just grab on, but it just kind of slid down slowly like a fire pole. It was pretty funny. So I'll see if I can get that. Oh, or the other thing, I don't know if we still have it. I think we threw it away, but we got this thing. It was like, you know, that weird like rubber horse head mask that people like. We had one of those that was meant to be a squirrel feeder, and you would like put peanut butter up on the inside, so squirrels would crawl along and then climb up in it to get like the peanut butter, but they would kind of get stuck. And so not stuck, but they would be, while they were eating the peanut butter, it looked like they were wearing a horse head mask. But I think it got really dirty, so I think we threw it away. But anyway, maybe I'll get one of those. Anyway, so this is Applied Digital Studies, and I guess first of all, let me show you how to get to Discord so you can join the conversation there if you'd like to. I mean, you should do that just in general, but you can, if you want to bracket that and do it later, that's okay too, but do it definitely before Wednesday. So this is, what I'm looking at right here is the Canvas page for the class, which I have just published as of a couple hours ago. Or not even a couple hours ago. And I've got a lot of links here to things that you'll likely need frequently. So I've got the schedule, which work in progress. I've got the syllabus, groups, which are forthcoming. I'll say more about that in a minute. But down here you've got Discord, and this is a link straight to the server, and then this is the invitation link. You have to do the invitation first before you can actually click straight into it. So if you don't already have a Discord account, you'll need to sign up for one. I decided to use Discord this semester instead of Slack because Discord lets you have a single account and then join multiple servers, and I find that just much more convenient for myself, so I don't have to remember which server I need to be in, and I also don't have separate logins for each server, which is how Slack works. Discord also, to me, seems a little bit more informal, and it seems to work a little bit better with Twitch. Like, it has some automatic integrations with Twitch, so that seems like a good thing. It also might be helpful later on this semester to, and I don't know if this will work, but I've heard it will work. So we'll see. But there are certain like videos that I would like us to watch, and it kind of works over Twitch, but kind of not. And also then there are copyright issues. I think we can avoid some of that, and also it might work better if I stream video through Discord sometimes. So that's we'll see if that's necessary and if that works even, but that's another reason to join Discord. Basically, think of Discord, because this is an online class, think of Discord as our classroom. So join it whenever we have class. Now, I say online class, of course, we are online right now. Eventually, hopefully, we will be face-to-face. We'll see, but that's the plan. And yeah, so Brian, you can chat either place, right? Either Twitch or Discord is fine. But yeah, this is a hybrid synchronous class. So that means that whenever we're online, we're going to try to be synchronous, which is real time, which is what we're doing right now. But when we're face-to-face, that won't be all the time. So whenever we do go face-to-face, we're going to have to be very careful about the scheduling for that. So that's something that these first 3 weeks are kind of nice, because we'll have time to figure that out as we get into it. So let me actually show you how to, let me follow up with that a couple things, and then I'll get into actually the class. I haven't really even talked about the content of this class yet. But let's take a look at, let me take a look at a couple things in Discord. So if you go to Discord, I'm not going to actually show Discord right now, because many of you use your real names there, and I want to respect your privacy, so I'm not going to put them on the stream. But if you look, there's a general channel, which is what everyone joins, and that's just kind of, where you put things, and that's fine, whatever you want to do. Then there's also a channel for introductions. So if you don't mind, please introduce yourself in that channel. I see many of you are using your real names, which is fine, but you don't have to use your real name. You can use a nickname, and you can actually, I believe, use a unique nickname on different servers. So like if you have an account on another server, you can use a specific nickname just for this class if you want to do that. Totally fine. Just maybe say hi in the introductions channel, and I don't know what you feel like saying. Say hi to explain what. I don't know. I mean, all the icebreaker topics are really cheesy, so I can't really think of anything. Maybe what you plan on doing next summer. I don't know. I hate the icebreakers. Yeah, but just I don't know. Something fun you did recently, or something that you're looking forward to. How about that? Something that you're looking forward to. That's a good generic thing that should be fine. Or just anything really. The point is just to start making connections or start having a conversation here. As you'll see, Discord is very much like Slack. You type messages. You can also share animated GIFs. There's a GIF button. You just push the button and then select the one you want to share. You can respond to other people by typing an @ symbol and then their name. And then you can also use emoji to react to someone. And I want to really encourage you to use the emoji reactions, because that's a way to show your participation in a conversation, even if you don't have something specific to say. It's just a way of kind of acknowledging your presence with that conversation. I think the word is, there's a term in rhetoric studies for this, but I can't think of what it is. But anyway, there's a way that you are just able to, so if someone has a message, even just a kind of neutral or random reaction just kind of indicates that you heard their message, and that's a good way to show that you're connected. So I encourage you to do things like that. We don't have the chance to see each other in person and build the kind of relationships that I think really are crucial for this class to go well. So do your best to contribute that in Discord instead. Also, by the way, it looks like there's one person in the voice channel in Discord. I don't plan on using those, but maybe we will at some point. Maybe if we have to collaborate or something, that might be useful. But just by the way, I actually don't have any way to listen to audio out of this particular computer that I'm streaming with, ironically. So at least not without hooking up some other stuff. So anyway, so Discord is going to be good for that. The other thing that's going to happen in Discord is after I figure out how to arrange you into cohorts, you will have a channel for your cohort in Discord, and you'll be able to communicate directly with each other there. So that's still going to be something we have to work out. Hopefully by the end of this week we can get that all settled, but that's the idea. Okay, so cool. Yeah, it's great seeing all these familiar names. All right, cool. So let's take a look at some stuff for the class. This is, as you know, oops, wrong class, there we go. The sequel to DGSE 101, and many of you were in my DGSE 101 either in the spring or the summer. Some of you were in other people's 101s, either Dr. Blevins, maybe Dr. Stommel. But regardless, it's a pretty similar experience, and so now that you're in 395, you should be well prepared. The big shift, I guess, the way I would characterize the difference between 101 and 395 is kind of a big shift between, whereas in 101 we did a lot of things, we covered a lot of ground. Like we did a lot of projects, we did a lot of things, we had a lot of conversations, we covered a lot at kind of a shallow level. In DGSE 395, the goal is to go deeper on fewer things. So there are going to be a few things that we all do together, but there's also going to be one thing that you do on your own, possibly coordinating with someone else, but probably by yourself. That's a pretty deep dive into a topic and a project. And that's what we just call the big project, capital B, capital P for this class. And that's really going to comprise probably about half of the work that you do for this class. It's going to be self-directed or you're going to choose the project, I'll help you with it, but you're going to be working on that project to follow an interest of your own design. And we'll be talking about lots of examples, and really a big takeaway from this class is, or it can be, both the content of the project, the project itself can be a good portfolio item, but also I want to prepare you to create that kind of project, like the process of designing something big like that, planning it and executing it, and then evaluating it at the end. These are things that take some practice and some skill, and I've done it before, so I can show you how to do it. And that's one of I think the biggest practical takeaways from this class is some experience in working on a big project like that. Okay, so that's, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to say, but that's kind of the big picture overview of the differences between these two, between 101 and 395. By the way, this is section 1 that I think I'm talking to you right now. There are 2 sections. One is at 140 and the other's at 250, is it? These times are unusual, so I'm trying to, 140 and 250. So 140 is section 1, 250 is section 2. I plan to live stream both times, and so you're watching right now, you're probably in section 1. If you're in section 2, you will probably be watching, or if you are in section 2, you're welcome to keep watching, but I will be rebroadcasting the same content, the same introduction at 250 for section 2. However, eventually, if it works out for everyone, I would like to just do 1 stream per day, if that is okay. In other words, as long as, like if you're in section 1 right now, as long as you don't have something scheduled immediately after this, like another class, then I would probably split the difference between the two and maybe start a stream at 2 or 2:10, so that it's kind of the second half of the scheduled time for section 1 and the first half of the scheduled time for section 2, if that makes sense. Just for my own, health and sanity, it would be nice to just do 1 as opposed to 2 per day. But I will work with whatever is available. Okay, let me talk about some of the logistics of the class, because that's what I was kind of referring to there, and then we'll go through the content a little bit more. I've actually made an FAQ page, and as evidence or as an example of how much I still have to do to get the site set up, I haven't answered some of these questions yet. I just thought these are things that you might be thinking of, and so I've started writing those things that I think you're probably thinking of, and then answering a few so far. But I can answer these now verbally, but I haven't actually typed up answers to all of these yet. But if you have other questions that aren't here, then let me know, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so what is an online synchronous day of class? How will that go? There's actually going to be 2 versions of that, and this is one of them where I'm going to be streaming. Think of this like a lecture, right? I mean, some days of class, I simply am the person doing most of the talking, and there might be interactive parts of that, or there might be like an exercise or some kind of activity that you complete after I've explained it. But it's essentially me lecturing, and so that's what today is like. I mean, the first day of class usually is me doing all the talking and explaining things, and that's what we're doing. And streaming video is really set up pretty well to do that. That's why one reason why I'm using Twitch instead of Zoom for this. Also, Zoom, I guess, was down most of the day today. I might still be down, I don't know. But Twitch seems to be working fine, so that's what we're doing there, and that's going well. So that's one version of an online synchronous day of class. Another version would be, and this would be usually with your cohort and not with the entire class, but a set of questions or exercises or something to work on together in real time, and you can do that in Discord. And this might, it might involve a video chat if you feel inclined to, or if I think that's helpful, I might recommend it. But it will also often be something you could do just like through text chat. So it would be like answering questions or working through something together, and that's the idea of an online synchronous class through Discord. Those are the kinds of things you could technically do asynchronously, but you'll have a better time if you can do it synchronously. And that'll make more sense when you can see an example of that. So let me get back to that basically once I have an example to show you. Okay, so how will you know when to come to class? What I'm going to do is take a look at the survey. I sent a survey through Canvas earlier today. It's an ungraded quiz, by the way, but it'll show up as a quiz, but it's totally ungraded. Just don't worry about it. It actually even says, on the multiple choice questions, I say, here's all the options, but Canvas still pretends like one of them is the right answer, and it'll like mark the other ones wrong, which is bizarre. And I didn't tell it to do that, so I don't know. But once you've all indicated your availability on that, actually let me pull it up here so I can explain it. Then I will be putting you into cohorts based on that. So let's take a look at those questions. Make sure I explain what's going on here. So of course some of these questions are just kind of general, getting to know you kind of questions and checking in kind of questions. But this is the really important kind of scheduling one. Oops, keep scrolling away from me. Question 6. So my basic plan is to stream like this on Mondays, like every Monday. And then once we go back to possibly face-to-face, I will continue streaming on Mondays. So it'll just be like this. I'll probably do it from home. I might do it from the classroom. I'm not sure yet, but it doesn't really matter to you because you just go to the same URL, twitch.tv/Zach Whalen, and you see me wherever I am. But on Wednesdays and Fridays, it is possible that some of you could meet in person. So again, this is a hybrid synchronous class, so that's the idea. But you may already have other things that you may already know you prefer Wednesday or Friday. So I'm going to let you indicate if you have a preference. You may not care. But ultimately, we do have to split up because there are too many of you. So even though we're in HCC 327, which is one of the larger classrooms, because of all the COVID-19 restrictions, the maximum capacity for that room is now 12. Usually would be 36, I think. But now we have to go down to 12. And so if you are going to be coming face-to-face, I want to make sure that you are not going to be too many people on each day. So the plan is to meet half of you on Wednesday, the other half on Friday, and also split the other section half and half. So basically there will be 4 different cohorts that way. In addition, there are several people that I know are not going to be coming in at all face-to-face for health reasons or other reasons. And so that group will also be a cohort of its own. And I kind of want to see how many that is. So that might be just a cohort by itself, or that might be multiple cohorts depending on how big of a group that ends up being. So this is going to give me a lot of information. So please, honestly, if you're going to, this quiz doesn't take long, but if you get stuck on any of these and you're not sure what to say, don't worry about it. Just answer question 6, and then, that would be really helpful. Also, well, I guess question 8 is also helpful. I mean, I can look up what section you're in, but if you just, the way that the quiz information will print, it's easier to see if you just tell me which section you're in. And yeah, otherwise, this is all, hopefully pretty straightforward. This is the question about whether I can do 1 stream instead of 2. So let me know if you have a conflict at, in your case, 2:50. I read that wrong, not 2:30, 2:50. But yeah, let me know if you have a conflict then. If you do, then I guess this plan won't work, but hopefully we can make it work. Then finally, just your Discord name. Again, you're welcome to use a nickname, but I do need to know who is who ultimately so that I can, so I can follow up on things or just kind of make sure everyone is in the right place. Okay. So as far as homework for today or assigned work for today, these are the 2 things. There's the survey, so please complete that before Wednesday, and also there's Discord. So please join Discord, say hello, and that's all you got to do to be ready for Wednesday. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to continue on, but yeah, either Twitch chat or the live stream channel, whatever you need. So let's see. Let's go back to the FAQ page. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so what is this class actually about? That's a question I do get sometimes, and I think it is kind of hard to answer, so I understand why people ask. It is a class about digital studies, right? I mean, this is digital studies. Digital studies is a discipline. Other schools do something called digital humanities. We called it digital studies. I like to introduce digital studies in terms of 3 different things. So it's creative, it's digital creativity, it's digital culture, and it's digital methodology. And this class will really lean into culture and methodology more so than creativity. In other words, you're going to be developing a large digital project, and so that's usually what we mean when we talk about digital methodology. We talk about answering questions, exploring problems with digital tools, and that's what you'll be doing in your big project. So this is really that's the big emphasis here. In terms of creativity, you can do creative projects for that big project as well. Just most people choose not to, but that is an option. Yeah, we'll talk a lot about the big projects. If you're worrying about it at all, don't worry about it. But if you're just wondering what kinds of things might be even possible, think back to DGSE 101, and we had all those modules. Remember how for each of those modules, there's a list of suggested projects you could do. That's the kind of thing you could do as a big project here. Like in the DGSE 101 version, you might have 2 weeks to do it, so you don't have time to do some of those projects, or you can only do them like a little bit or like a practice run. But now for 395, you might be able to spend 5-6 weeks on it, and so you might have a chance to do that thing that you were interested in doing in 101, but you didn't have time to. So that's one way to think about the big project for 395. We'll get to that later. Okay, so will I have to learn how to program in this class? A little bit. So for 101, I like to emphasize a little bit of web design. So using HTML and hand coding some HTML to create a web page. I'm going to try to figure out how to get that into this version of 395 because I had to really cut that from this past spring's 101. But those of you over the summer, you did get a chance to do that. But for this 395, I'm going to sneak some of that in. But one of the big things conceptually that I want you to understand in this class has to do with how digital technology works. And when I say that, I mean, how does it, what are the things that digital technology is changing about culture? Like, if we think about the problems we have, the solutions that might be available, digital tools show up all the time in those conversations. So how do those actually influence the situations? How do these things actually solve the problems or not? And why do people think they do if they don't? And the better we can understand just some really fundamental things like what an algorithm is, for example, the better equipped we are to critique those solutions when they're presented or think about better solutions possibly. So programming is important, and having just some fundamental programming literacy I think is really useful. That said, I am not a tremendously good programmer myself. I don't expect expert programming as a result of this class. This is not a computer science class. So it'll be very much kind of choose your own adventure with programming. Like, I'll give you things that are starting points. You can go further with them if you'd like, but you don't have to. And I will not ask you to prove your programming competency in any way. Like, there's not a way in which I will kind of grade you on how good of a programmer you are by the end. So programming will show up though, specifically Python. And I like Python because it's a relatively legible language. Like, if you write some Python code, it's mostly just English words arranged in a specific way. And if you can read that, then you can usually understand what's going on a little bit. Other languages, like I used Perl as my first, when I was learning to program, I learned with Perl, and Perl is very opaque. Perl is the kind of language, one of the cliches or jokes about Perl is that Perl only makes sense to the person who wrote it and not always even them. In other words, I can go back to Perl programs that I wrote 5 years ago and I have no idea what's going on. Like, it takes me quite a while to tease out what I was doing, just because the way that Perl depends so much on implied things and unstated things that it's really hard to work with. Whereas Python can be very explicit, very like step by step, here, do this, do this, do this. And I like it for that reason. It's a beginner friendly language, in other words. So if you've already had some experience with Python, that's great. If you haven't, that's great. It'll be fine. But hopefully it'll make sense the way that I've incorporated it into the topics that we're going to be exploring together. But we'll see. I will say I have, compared to the previous years, my plan for this semester is scaled back a lot in terms of how much programming I'm going to put in front of you. I've decided to dial back on that a lot, not just because of the awkwardness of this semester and being hybrid and all that, but just because I'm rethinking its role in relation to this class. I'm not as convinced that we need as much of it as I used to do. In other words, you'll see references to a textbook, and I have used a textbook for this class, a programming textbook called Exploratory Programming by Nick Monfort. And I have not assigned that as a required text for you all. I mean, you're welcome to get it, I guess, but I'm not going to be assigning exercises from it, at least not for now. I say at least not for now because I believe Nick said that there will be an open access version of that textbook available sometime before the end of this semester. So if that does happen, then I can pull things out of that open access version to kind of look at by itself. So we'll see, but it's not going to be the whole textbook. We're not going to work through it directly. So I'll just be making things up for you. So anyway, hopefully that's all right. Again, I don't want you to be anxious about the programming part. It's not a huge part of this class. It's just something that is there, and I want you to be able to work with because I think it's good. Okay, so let's go through these. These questions aren't organized in any kind of logical way. So, but you can see some answers here. Do I have to use Discord? Yes, please do use Discord. It's participation, like it's how you show you're there, like how you're part of the class. Sometimes we will be doing large group conversations, but more often you'll be doing cohort-specific conversations and activities. So I need you to be able to connect with your cohort, and that's Discord is the common denominator for that. So definitely please get into Discord. Do you have to watch the live streams when they're broadcast? No, but I recommend it. The nice thing about watching it live is that you can ask me a question and I can answer it live. Also, I don't know about you, but I find like watching someone live and like listening to them, I find that much more engaging if they're actually live. Whereas if I go back later and watch a recorded thing of someone who was live when they were talking, I find the pacing incredibly slow and I find it really hard to work with. Like if I'm preparing some content for you all in a video form and I want you to watch it like a pre-recorded video, I'm gonna keep it short. Like I'm gonna keep it 10 minutes, right? I can edit it and I can plan it and I can do things to make it, get that content into 10 minutes. Whereas if I'm just going off the top of my head and kind of rambling through it, it might take me an hour to do the same thing. And so that's, I'm aware of that difference in my own preparation for these things. And certainly as a viewer, I enjoy it much more if it's live or, pre-recorded and short. So I guess you can play it back at double speed. I mean, that's a strategy that I use a lot. So I welcome you to do that too if you're watching this in the archive version, but live stream is better for a lot of things if you can. Of course, doing that live does require an internet connection and access to Twitch. So if that's inconvenient for you, if you're having a hard time with internet, let me know so I can see if there are things we can do to either improve your internet access or provide you the same content through a different channel. Okay, so how do I know which day to attend in person? Well, once I've figured out which cohorts you're in, then you will know, and you will not be able to deviate from that. Because if I had, let's say, 12 people in one cohort and 10 in the other, like three people deciding to attend the other one would put us over the limit for the room. So, you can't do that. So it'll be one and you'll be assigned to seats. Like it'll be very, very constrained in some ways, and it'll be very strange. I don't know if you've been to campus since it's been shut down. I've been a lot, and it's very strange. I don't know. It'll be interesting when people are actually there, but it's very bleak right now. I don't know. It's just so depressing, honestly. Like, I'm sorry to be a downer, but like looking at some of the classrooms with like 6 desks in them just looks so sad, honestly. But it'll be okay. It'll be better when there's actual people in them, I'm sure. But yeah, it's all everything is distanced, right? So you go in there and there's tape that shows you very clearly where you're supposed to be. In 327, we'll have to do assigned seats, so you'll know where to go. I don't know if you remember how the room is set up, but you've got 6 tables around the edges, and then so those are all there. I'm trying to sort of mentally draw a picture of it, but if you think of like tables 2, 3, and 4, those are the 3 that were kind of together on the same wall. It's 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, tables 1, 2, and 3 So tables 1 and 3 have been moved slightly so that they are farther away from table 2. And then there's tape on the floor to mark out like half of a table. So each person gets half of a table and then a little bit of the floor there. And so that's how we get 12 people there. And then the middle of the room is kind of left as another possible place for people to hang out. So very different, but better than nothing. And we'll see how it goes. But you'll be assigned to a specific seat, and you'll need to always sit there, and then you'll be in charge of. You'll need to clean it, like wipe it down when you leave and when you arrive, and it'll be a whole thing, So we will get used to it. It'll be fine, but it'll be strange for a little while. Okay, so will your attendance be recorded? Will you be penalized for missing class? Those are really two questions. I think, I say no in the sense that, the no, I should probably separate these questions, but no, I don't mean, when I say no here, I mean you're not going to be penalized for missing class. I will, however, record attendance because I want to make sure that you're in the right place and that I'm keeping in touch with everybody. So I want to basically, I do want to be aware of your attendance, but I'm not going to penalize you for missing class. If you need to be gone for whatever reason. If you do need to be gone, just let me know, I guess, what's going on. It's not a big deal, but again, I just want to make sure. So especially if like you aren't there for a week or 2 weeks, that would be something I would be concerned about. So let me know if there's something I need to know, or if you need some help with something, whatever. All right, so let's see. What is your current grade? Obviously, you all are doing fine so far in the class. I am going to be using a check plus, check minus grading scale for this class, just like I've been doing for my other classes. Many of you have experienced that grading scale in earlier classes with me. I'm going to continue that here. Check just means you're doing great, everything's fine. A check plus means you went above and beyond somehow, and a check minus means that you missed some part of it, or some part of it was incomplete or missing or inadequate or whatever. None of those is a failing grade. None of those means that you're doing bad. It's just those are ways for me to communicate different levels of achievement or different outcomes or possible directions. So if you're getting a lot of check minuses, that might be some encouragement to try to see what's going on and see what you need to make sure you're completing correctly. If you're getting a lot of check pluses, great, keep doing what you're doing. If you're getting a lot of checks, keep doing what you're doing. Ultimately, I will have to give you a final grade, like an actual letter grade. I will give you an opportunity to make a rationale to explain what grade you think you've earned, and I'll give you that grade, probably. It'll be a conversation, but I usually just go with what people say. But that'll be a letter grade, and we'll have a conversation about what different letter grades might mean. But as far as the day-to-day or week-to-week work of the projects, check plus, check minus, that's all I'm planning to do. I do plan on giving you feedback though on these things. I have found it pretty useful to do video feedback, and I hope that works for you too. It's easier for me in some ways than written feedback, so I will probably continue doing that. But if there are ways that that's not working, or it turns out that you're not watching them or something, I might go to a more traditional way of doing that. But yeah, the plan basically is video feedback. I just noticed, what time is it? It's 2:20. How long have I been going? Oh, 45 minutes, okay. So what time did I start? 1:40. Okay, good. So it goes 1:40 to 2:30? Yeah, and then, so that's what, yeah. Sorry, talking out loud. So yeah, I will be wrapping this up in a few minutes, in other words. So if you have any questions, make sure you get them in. Anything you think I should try to answer today, make sure you get that in before I wrap it up. Okay, yeah, looks like a few more people getting online. So hello everyone, hello. Yeah, and good job using the thumbs. Yeah. There are other reactions besides the thumbs up. So I'm just looking at the introductions, and you've all been going through with the thumbs up, which is fine, but there's a rich tapestry of reactions available here in Discord, much richer and much more nuanced than Facebook. So see what you can do with that. Okay, so let's take a look at the syllabus for the last few minutes here. As I have alluded to a couple times, there's no required textbook for this class, but there will be lots of required, or things that I direct you to look at and play or listen to or watch or read to try to better understand some specific concepts. And I've constructed these concepts around what I call a node. And I conceptually, the nodes are very similar to modules, but I wanted to use a different term to differentiate that this is a different class, honestly. But they also do have a bit more involved, and I'll show you that in a moment. But I thought these are just some quotes that helped kind of crystallize some of the philosophical priorities for this class. And this one, I guess this one might bear some explanation. Self-education is the only possible education. The rest is mere veneer laid on the surface of a student's nature. What I mean by that, or what Charlotte Mason means by that, is like I can teach you things, I can show you things, but if you learn it, it's because you made the effort to learn it. Like if you are educated by it, if you are growing as a result of it, you're the one in charge of that, and you're the one who should, you are responsible for that, but you can also take credit for that. Like that's something that I want you to think about owning, and it doesn't depend as much on me as it does on you. This is true for every class all the time. I just think that this is something that it's interesting to think about and put out there as a philosophical statement as we get ready to start this class. It is going to be a hard class, but you're going to be the one who, I guess, designs the difficulty level, if that makes sense, and you'll be the one who benefits from it at the end. So, yeah, check it out. All right, so learning outcomes, these kind of these explain a little bit about that. We are going to be working with digital culture, right? So I'll show you some of those in the nodes. You're also going to be managing a long-term digital project, which I talked about a little bit. And you'll also be doing a bit of programming in order to think more about expressing ideas, exploring questions, and investigating problems. So that's digital methodology, if you recall. That's the phrasing for that. Then ultimately, you're going to be sharing this. Like you're going to be publishing this on your domain, possibly elsewhere. So thinking about audience is going to be important once you get to that level. So I just saw a question. Let's see. Okay, so Alex had a question, so I'll answer it right now. Nothing listed for Friday. Is there a live stream like today and Wednesday? Probably. It depends because I'm going to try to. So on Wednesday, what I'm going to be doing is introducing you to the first node. That's what Wednesday will be, and so I have not completed that node. And so if I have a standalone synchronous activity already built and that I feel confident in giving you all just to do on Friday, then that might be what Friday is instead of a live stream. But it may be a live stream as well. So I haven't listed it on the schedule yet because I'm not sure. And as you can see, the schedule is pretty much a skeleton at this point. It's just like placeholders. So we'll see. But I think in this first 3-week period before we go to the hybrid modality, there will I guess assume that there will probably be a live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, unless I say otherwise. So yeah, good question, Alex. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so where was I? So yeah, the nodes, right? So what I find interesting about this class is when we look at sort of the big picture questions that people are asking and thinking about with digital technology, there are certain topics that come up a lot. Certain things that I think bear a little bit more exploration than what we did in 101. And so what I've been putting together are these things that I call nodes, but really that's just a placeholder name. And each of these nodes has several components in it. It's going to have some like nonfiction content, like an essay, maybe a podcast, so some actual like intellectual content. It's going to have some fictional content. So it might be an episode of Black Mirror, it might be a short story, might be some other YouTube video, might be a video game, some kind of creative exploration of that same topic, I guess. And then there'll be a little bit of programming that helps us model or work with whatever processes I think are involved in that particular topic. So that's my goal in setting that up, is to have each of those 3 elements represented in each node. It's been, I did this last year, it's been a challenge, and so some of these I'm reworking a lot. But there's a lot out there, and I want to make sure to give you something that's a reasonable chunk of things to do, especially with the coding part of that. But if you think about things like, think about things like algorithmic oppression, right? So this is something that has ramifications in all kinds of areas of life, and so understanding that might mean exploring just one of those areas, and then maybe some of the other areas are things that you explore in your own big projects. These are things we can definitely explore as we go. And as Brian just pointed out, pretty much every episode of Black Mirror is relevant to this class, but I try not to overwhelm you with that. Also, there's a question about whether, like, how that would work just logistically. Like, you would all need Netflix accounts in order for me to assign you to watch that. I don't know if I feel comfortable requiring you to sign up for Netflix. Also, I don't think all the Black Mirror episodes are great. Like, some of them are great, some of them are just okay. Some of them I think are actually less good. I don't know, but there are one or two that I think are really strongly associated with some of the things we're exploring here. So I think that we will probably watch one or two. That said, Black Mirror has a very specific tone to it. It's a very cynical tone, and I'm not always sure that that's the best way to explore some topics. Even pretty heavy stuff, I think you can explore in ways that are more, I guess, fun or optimistic. And I think that's another reason why I don't go all in on Black Mirror, I guess. But I do like Black Mirror. It's fine. There's some very good episodes. So, but they're each like standalone, works of film. Like they're kind of hit or miss. Some I think are brilliant. I think some are honestly just miss. But that's okay. All right, I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. I wanted to see if there's anything else I needed to emphasize here. But mainly Wednesday, I will have the first node complete, and then that will be something I can share with you. The process, part of what I'll need to explain with the first node is the delivery mechanism for that content. It's going to be using a system called the Colab notebooks. These are Python notebooks in Google. So like you work in Google Drive to create something called a Python notebook, and it lets you mix different content. So that's what I like about it. Like I can write content, I can embed media, and then I can also embed code, and you can play with the code that I've written there, and also write your own code. Most people use Colab notebooks to do machine learning type research, and it's really great. It's really useful. So it will become more useful as you get farther into that. But at least for now, it's a way to package up some content for you and give you a way to work through it. Okay, well, I'm going to actually wrap this up very soon. I don't know if there's anything else to really get into here, but if you have any questions, now would be your chance to get them in before I wrap up. Oh, someone just asked, where is the Discord link? It's on on Canvas. So there's an announcement I just sent through Canvas earlier today, and there's a link there. So there's also just on the home. Well, I can show it to you on the homepage. There's a link straight to the server, which you can use after you've joined the server. Like actually, once your account is connected to our server, you can just click the computer icon here or the word Discord, and you can go there. But first, you'll need to join by invitation, which is the link here. This is an invitation link. And once I feel like everyone's in, I will actually disable this link so that random people don't join our server. But this is a permanent invitation link, so it should not expire. Okay, so yeah. I always forget how hard it is to talk that much. And I'm not someone who talks a lot in my regular life, so teaching for an hour it's been tiring. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up the stream here, but I'll be online. I'm going to be doing another section in 20 minutes, so I will continue to be online in Discord, and I'll be streaming again in 20 minutes. So I guess you can watch again if you're if you're in section 1, you can watch again with section 2 or not, but you may see. If you stay online in Discord, you should see a bunch of people joining, hopefully for section 2. Okay, everyone, lots more to come. I will see you Wednesday with some explanation of the first node and some other things. So I hope you're doing well. Have a good afternoon.